Hey, what's going on everyone? In this quick video, I'm going to be doing some NordVPN speed tests from various locations around the world, just so you guys can get a rough indication of speeds and performance that you may get in your very own country when using NordVPN. So in this video, I'm going to be testing several locations such as Australia, UK, the United States, Canada, and a couple of others as well. And on top of that, I'm also be going to stream just a little bit of Netflix in real time, being connected to one of these locations, so you guys can get a real world indication of how these servers actually perform. So just before I get stuck into this video, if you are looking to get started with NordVPN, I do have a massive 70% discount link down below if you're looking to get started with them. Okay guys, so I'm going to get stuck straight into this video, and the very first thing I'm going to do is set a base speed test, which I can then reference from throughout this testing. So I'm currently here in Australia, and this is the local server that I'll be testing, and I do have NordVPN turned off at the moment. So I'm just using the Google speed test tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and run the first speed test right now. So at the moment I'm getting about 30 to 40 megabytes download per second. It's kind of peaking at 50. Which is a pretty good number for here in Australia. Typically our speeds do vary quite a lot, but for 50 megabytes that is quite good. So that's the kind of reference that I'll be using throughout this kind of speed test, just so we can see the before and after. So as you can see, the server location is in Sydney, as I am located in Australia. So the next thing I'm going to do is turn on NordVPN, but I'm actually going to connect to an Australian server, and I'm just curious to see whether this actually shaves off much download speed, even though I am still connected to a locally based Australian server. So all I have to do is just go ahead and search for Australia. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And this just takes a couple of moments to connect. And there we have it. So again, I'm going to retest. And our initial speeds were 50 megabytes download per second. So this is kind of going up to around 10, 11, 13, 14. So that's actually quite a significant drop off. So that's about a 75% drop off, which is actually quite surprising. From my previous testing, it is usually about a half indication, usually takes half off. But 14 megabytes is still quite good for downloading and streaming on multiple devices. So I'm just going to play this speed test out in real time so you guys can just see how it actually does perform. So the next server I'm going to test is the United States, as this is the server that I mainly connect to, as I do like to watch the large catalog of Netflix on my computer and also my smartphone. So for me, this is the most important. For others, maybe not. So I'm just going to go ahead. I've connected to the US-based server. So again, I'm just going to run a speed test again. And from my experience, I do get around 5 megabytes download. So this is kind of pretty average for us in Australia. Our internet speeds aren't the best, so again, this may vary depending on where you are as well, because this is kind of limited by my internet connection. But in saying that, I am connecting to a server on the other side of the world, so the latency will be quite higher as well. So we got about 6.5 download and 2 megabytes upload. And as you can see, the server is located in San Francisco. So nonetheless, still pretty good speeds. I do still watch Netflix on these speeds in high definition and pretty much no buffering. So I'll just go ahead to my Netflix account, and I'll just show you guys a quick real world experience of how it's actually like to watch Netflix when connected to an American based server. So I'm just going to go ahead and randomly click on something. So I'll just click on this TV show. And again, I'll let this play out in real time so you guys can get a rough indication of speeds. So there we have it. It still does pretty much load instantaneously, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but it actually is streaming in high definition. So it's a pretty good experience. Even at 6 megabytes download per second, I'm still able to easily stream Netflix with no issues whatsoever. So again, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to change my location to, let's just say Canada. Going to click on that one. And that will just take a couple of moments to connect. So there we have it. So again, I'm going to run the speed test, and just as reference, our original speed was 50 megabytes download. For the United States, it was 6.5. So Canada is really struggling at the moment. It's not even getting to 1 megabyte download speeds. So that's actually quite surprising. I've actually only ever connected to the Canadian server a couple of times, as I do have TV shows such as Brooklyn Nine-Nine and How I Met Your Mother. So I'll be curious just to go back to my Netflix account and just see how this actually plays out in real time for streaming Netflix. And as you can see, the server location is in Vancouver. So again, I'm going to go back to my Netflix and I'll search for another TV show. So I'll just click on this one. So I'm guessing this one might be a bit slower as the speeds were below 1 megabytes a second. Speeds actually are still quite good even on Netflix, even though the speeds are under 1 megabyte per second. So again, I'll go back and I'll change the location to, let's just say, Spain. I'll connect to Spain. So that's gone ahead and connected. So again, I'll rerun the speed test and let's see what numbers. This is kind of like a bit of a surprise. I'm not sure what I'm going to get from these results. So you guys are seeing this for the first time as well. So surprisingly, Spain is actually faster than Canada. You were getting around 1.5, close to 2 megabytes download per second. And the uploads, let's have a look at that one. So the uploads are kind of on the 1 megabyte range. So it's pretty average. It's not the best and it's not the worst. And as you can see, the server location is in Madrid as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and then again change my location to Japan, as I know that a lot of people actually like connecting to the Japanese servers, as you can access the Japanese anime streaming services and also several Japanese TV shows that can only be found on Netflix in Japan. So I'm just going to go ahead and run the speed test and let's see what numbers we get on this one. So again, around the same as the previous results. So 2-3 megabytes download per second. But I think this is still pretty good for streaming online. I wouldn't really try and stream on maybe 2 or 3 devices on the one connection, then maybe you would run into some issues. But for streaming on just the one desktop smart TV or even the iPhone device, then this is still pretty good. So as you can see, Hong Kong based server. So I'm just going to exit out of that one. And I'm just going to do one last speed test for you guys. And I'm actually going to connect to New Zealand and see what the results are for this one. So I'm in Australia at the moment, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how a server in a close proximity would actually perform when in relation to Australia. So I'll go ahead and rerun the speed test. So I'm predicting this will maybe be around 5 megabytes download per second. Okay, no, so it's only around 3 megabytes, going up to 5, yep, cool. So nonetheless, it's still pretty good. I have really good experiences with NordVPN for streaming Netflix, and that's pretty much the main reason I do use it. So there you have it, guys. 4.5 megabytes download, 2 upload, and the server location is in Auckland. So I thought I'd just make this quick video for you guys, just so you guys can get a rough indication of speeds when using NordVPN. And again, if you're looking to get started with them, don't forget to check out the discount link down below. And if you have any questions about NordVPN or VPNs in general, please feel free to ask me, as I'll be happy to help you out. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.